a panel discussion for this first Web3 Stronger Together virtual summit. I say it again, I'm totally excited, a bit stressed, impressed, but I'm really glad, honored to have on board and here on stage, this virtual stage. So amazing people. Just for the little story, all speakers have submitted an application, and I took the time to discover all of you guys, because I know some, but most of you, I have discovered what you are doing, who you are, and trust me, I spend a lot of time. I dive in your social media profile and so on, and I'm for me, it's already a success when I have a look to our website, the speaker page, when I see so different face, so different person, so different personality from all around the world. This is a real proof of diversity, inclusivity, and it's some of the value we want to share during this few next days and through what we plan to do for the long run. So thanks for being there. I would like to welcome Chloé Accard, Tom Fiske. Sorry guys if I misspell your name. Remember, I'm a French guy, and even if I speak English on a daily basis till the end of my life, I think I will have to improve my English. Thanks Christian Jumelet. And hello, Ravi Verma. We will today talk about innovation in the metaverse, how GameFi and virtual reality can enhance customer experience. I'm really excited and impatient to hear your point of view about it. But first, I would like to let you introduce yourself in a few words, who you are, why you are involved in Web3, and then let's dive into this panel discussion. Chloé, up to you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm really excited to be here also. And it's funny because you're talking about how much you've seen many different people coming to the Web3 space. And I was just in the NFT Paris a few days before, and the same reflection came to my face. I was like, wow, it's amazing how much diverse and people from very different horizon and style. It's like you feel like you're in a world where people are completely themselves and just embracing their innovation and try to play with it. But yeah, so just to present me quickly, I'm a self-entrepreneur and innovation addict. I've been working in Orange Innovation, which is like a telecommunication group in France, and also been working in Samsung for a few years. Digital evangelist. I was kind of like
Chloé, it seems we lost you.
Yeah, where is the connection?
Yeah. We will let Chloé restore her colleague. Oh, yeah. So we will give the mic again to Chloé later. Maybe Tom. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. So, my name is Tom Fiske. I am the editor of The Immersive Wire, which is a publication that specializes in... my apologies. I specialize in... and basically, I analyze the space and I look at all the news stories when it comes to Web3. It's been an interesting couple of years, let's put it like that. And it looks like 2023 will be interesting as well. We're going through a strange economic time as well, and I'm interested to see how that's going to influence everyone too. Looking forward to chatting and seeing everyone.
Nice to meet you, Tom. Christian, welcome. Bienvenue.
Welcome. am to share some good moment. As you understand, veteran within this space. I'm born in 51. It's a lot. And I am excited to share good and also a lot of things with work, because I know the launching worldwide in 95 when we start internet with the Web 1, after now Web 3, and it's a exciting moment today to work all together with a lot of people around the world in order to cover some good announcement. Brand would like to go in space, but also that combined with artificial intelligence. And for me, is really today I am located headquarters in close from Cannes and Bay, and I am the chief executive of my own company, and I support Brown several trademark to accelerate the business development of this different company. Thanks to you, Laurent.
Thanks to you, Christian. Welcome again. Ravi, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me on this panel. I'm excited equally, just like every other panelist on this panel today. I'm glad to be here. Technology brings us together from different part of this world. And looking at the topic that we have today, when I had submitted my request to be a panelist or a presenter, it was a huge list. Now, I must admit that that huge list had everything which was elite in itself. I had to kind of scrub through many of those, and then finally I came up with the topic that we are talking about today. It kind of overlaps with what I do in my day job. And to give you a little bit of an insight about me, I am someone who has been in data protection for about 18 years now. And as they say that this age and time is about information, I'm glad that I have spent that time with data for so many years, that now I can make and understand what's going on. And with the current macroeconomics that's going on, it still gives us that understanding of the data is going to save us wherever we are. And with the technology such as Web3, VR, and AR, I believe it keeps me active and excited about the technology for the future, as well as the use cases that we will obviously talk about today. So I'm going to pause, because I'm not going to stop unless you stop me. I'm going to pause and give the mic back to you so that we can have that discussion. But I must say I'm very excited.
Welcome again, Ravi. Chloe, I give you again the mic.
Yeah, I don't know where it stopped, but I'm gonna try to be quick. Just saying, I was saying, I used to be working in innovation, and especially in Samsung, when I immersed clients to what could be the future of their industry. So I emailed them and show them many use case, combining many different technology, and also especially VR. And I did it for many years. And since like a year, I've been into Web3 and blockchain, NFT, and I'm trying to spread the word about all of this subject, make it more accessible. So I'm also talking about this a lot online, especially through Media, which is a place where we invited many people, many bridgers, to talk about what they're doing and how they're improving the market using innovation through blockchain, NFTs, Metaverse, and so on.
Welcome again, Chloe, and thanks you guys to be there. So now let's dive in the topic. How it's all about innovation in metaverse, how GameFi and virtual reality can enhance the customer experience. So first, guys, quickly, could you, in one sentence, define what is the metaverse for you?
I'll begin. I like to think of it as the evolution of the internet. I do believe to an extent that there's multiple threads when it comes to it. So, and there's an ownership aspect. I appreciate this is a Web3 discussion. So I do think there's an ownership aspect to what the future of the internet could look like. But based on my experience, I do think spatial as well, an element of use spatial technologies and how people interact with each other. The Meta has just unveiled its roadmap for the next 4 years, which includes 3 new Quest headsets, which is a bit insane, which indicates a level of like virtual reality and elements which may be coming up in the future.
Christian?
Sure.
Yeah, well, it's to give in one sentence what is a metaverse, because is something as a strange, and they have some fears in order to go to the metaverse. And when you are a provider, give some input to the brand. Today, it's quite difficult. If you want to help, come on with me in the metaverse. The best case is your case. When you are invited people for an event in order to discuss, in order to give services, it's a good way. But today you are going to a brand in order, come on guys, to have an experience in the metaverse I have. It's not just a question of price. It's because we have to give information more to the brand in order to explain why it's important to be in the metaverse. That's my advice.
Thank you. Ravi?
Thank you. So, in a single sentence, if I have to define metaverse, I want to kind of talk about it in a way that it has evolved from Web 2.0, which means the social connectivity, which brought us inside our homes, yet got us connected with everyone that we wanted to. But it kind of removed the factor of the touch. We couldn't touch anyone when we are in Web 2.0, but that's the problem that Web 3.0 or Metaverse is going to solve, because now we will be able to be present virtually wherever we could not, and experience and feel the the I think the experiential word is more relevant with metaverse. And to sum up, it's like meta and verse. Meta is ourselves in another version in a universe which is going to be virtual for us.
Thank you. Interesting. I often say that it's not a question of metaverse. In fact, it's a question of meta multiverse. Because if we consider the universe now, we assume that it's most probable that it's a question of multiverse. So we will see certainly metaverse in the multiverse and multi-metaverse in our universe.
True.
Chloe?
Yeah, exactly. With this multiverse, where I like to think about multiverse, like as you say, like just about an evolution of the internet. So when we go on the internet, for example, we used to go like on this website, and then with our phones, we used to go on this application or this application, and then we can like say that this application could be just a metaverse, and then it will be just a multiple application all together, which is going to make the full metaverse. But it's all about how we're going to make interoperability in between them. So like for me, it's just like today we use a computer or we use a phone to get connected to each other, and then maybe tomorrow we can use something else. And today, as we see, internet is like when we are not on internet, there's still stuff going on because there's still people on it. and playing with it, doing many action, like commenting, sharing, creating content and stuff and so on. So like for me, the metaverse is just going to be the continuity of all of this, where it's just connecting to a world with still going on, and it's just going to be a different way to be connected to each other actually, but it's just like an evolution.
Yeah, you know, when I was a child, I was fascinated by sci-fi and dream about teleportation. And now we will be able to teleport ourselves, traveling from one metaverse to another one, and enjoy a different experience. So let's now come back to the topic. How GameFi, virtual reality, can help brand companies, startup, to deliver a new customer experience, a new customer journey. You guys, have you some vision, some point of view? Have you some use case in mind?
Yes. So especially for GameFi, and GameFi being part of the industry since few years now, and I could, from my own experience, what I've seen is there's a company that has used GameFi really amazingly, and how they have influenced customer education. To name it, is it's the Salesforce of the world that I've seen that they've used gamification in their education portion, where they kind of educate customers and anyone who it could be. So they've got a platform called as Trailhead, where they have kind of gamified the whole education experience. Anyone who wants to learn about Salesforce can go enroll in that Trailhead website and go through the whole journey. And it has imbibed the culture of kind of challenges, points, rewards, progress tracking, you name it. All kind of flavors of gamification is present there. And from that, if you want to evolve and bring it to Meta or Web3, you have to have those digital assets that you can use to again use it in the same form of tracking progress, or to have a challenge and quest, and things like those could be gamified. It is definitely going to help for any technology company to kind of engage with their customers and encourage the customers for a higher level of adoption, be it their product or be it their education services that they bring in, to ensure that the customers learn about their product on how to use it in the best way possible.
My
We want,
advice,
yeah.
yeah, just to quickly dive in on this as well. I just want to support Ravi's point. I think that's exactly the kind of area which they want to focus on. I also suspect that come throughout this year, it's only going to be able to get more and more interesting as well. And I think it's only going to get more stuck with it too. I just have the strong suspicion that the economic malaise we are proceeding through is one which is going to be resolved over time as China opens up, as the UK and in the country I'm in opens up, as UK does, as US does as well. So it's a hope as well to an extent, but we'll see as well.
Thank you, Tom. Christian, we are both web veterans. What is your point of view, having taking part in what we call now Web 1, Web 2, and now being involved in Web 3? We have seen a lot of change in business, and even more in let's say customer experience, customer relationship management. What do you think we will see first as a real strong and let's say massive use case?
It's difficult to deliver. Why? When I was young, I was going the first time to Walt Studio. I was with this Walt Disney Studio. I saw a lot of immersive things. In my opinion, for the next future, when we are speaking immersive and not metaverse and not client experience, But the next step, really the next step, and the large company, Warner Communication Incorporated, or we will see a lot of new coming from this field with Warner Communication Incorporated, with Walt, with Netflix providers, and it will be immersive, because I want to be the immersive course, and I don't know any application able to do kind of things, give to the brand, trademark, an immersive experience. For me, if we are going Web 1, Web 2, and blah, 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 3, or maybe Web 4, it's not enough. Because I am in the reality we have to virtual enough. Why you will have merchandise, will have a way to do commerce within the Web 3? Why? Did you believe really the speculation that we have the field in the virtual as Decentraland and many others like it will be the good way to go? I'm not sure that I'm sure today, for example, we have more engagement social in the next future, and I believe in the future we will see a lot of new network with with a different community appears within the field. That today we don't we really we need to be disruptive, and if we look at this kind of this to the brand, maybe we have more to 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 create some interest for the brand.
I don't hear you guys.
Actually,
Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, Chloe, I just said that you worked for big companies like Orange, and it's kind of company who are looking constantly for benchmarking all innovation. With your experience, your background, what kind of use case do you see? Can we expect emerging in the next few months or years in terms of customer experience?
Yeah, so like what I've seen a lot is that, for example, with VR, it's being used a lot in the industry. For example, when you want to showcase a product with like kind of like really big, for example, that's just a plane or whatever, even like just an industry project. When you're using VR, you can really kind of like immerse yourself, and it's been easier to get the image of how it could be and make a decision for the customer. But where I've seen also most and more use is all into like education, because for example, when you immerse somebody in a situation, for example, it can be in industry, it can be about like teaching the people inside a company how to react in a very dangerous situation, for example. And so when you put somebody visually with a feeling of being in this situation, then the learning is so much better. And so I've seen a lot more use case in the educational vertical, because you can really bring the gamification also inside, and all the education process is being lived in a different perspective where your brain really memorize it better actually.
I do agree. Ravi, you want maybe share your ideas?
Yeah, sure. I mean, for virtual reality, I've got two examples that I have kind of experienced. attending some of the seminars. And these are two different, very different examples that I would want to bring up. One is about troubleshooting. Customers could really be enabled, or at least the engineers could be really enabled with virtual reality when they are getting involved into troubleshooting. And the classic example that I have experienced is a car mechanic. Uh, Imagine how you would use virtual reality troubleshooting a car. Let's say you have a breakdown, you reach a garage and you see a mechanic wearing a headgear and a kind of a joystick in his hand, and he just plugs it in your car, and he has the complete visualization of your car, that vertical dissection of it, and then he's going through it. And at the end, when he is able to root cause the problem, he could pretty much order the replacement part right from there. And I've seen this. There's a company called as Ray Vector. They have made this tool, and they are in production right now. The other example that I want to call upon, it's more of VR and AR, virtual reality, augmented reality, wherein it has been used in medical, like uh, wherein we have these fears. Some people have fear of snakes, heights, dogs, you name it, right? So how does the doctors or the clinical specialists treat them? Do you really take them and drop them in the ditch of snakes to make them get away of that fear of snakes? No, obviously no. So how do you really solve that? So technology has solved that fear, or has solved that problem altogether. What you can do is you could have your patients wear the headgear, wear the accessories, and have that experiential feeling. And then you could have all your plugs and switches connected to your patient and be able to kind of measure each pulse of that individual, and be able to kind of then understand the behavior based on this technology, rather than having that person actually go through the pain of getting the fear, rather than induce it with the technology. And that's where I think VR is going to be massive for humankind. And I've seen that happening, at least in a demo, and I was like totally blown my mind.
It's really interesting. First time I hear this, using virtual reality to deal with this phobia or fear. It's interesting. I was visualizing how it could be. Someone want react? Yeah, Chloe.
Yeah, actually, I've seen it also in hospital, also when they're doing operation. So nowadays, when you're getting operated in some hospital, you can choose to just get like a transplant to not feel the pain, or you can also choose to be hypnotized. This is something that it's been taught. I don't know about other country, but in France especially, you can decide to be hypnotized not to feel the pain at all. And so when they do this on you, they make you use your brain, you use your imagination when you have to kind of imagine you are in somewhere very nice, you're just laying down on the beach and stuff. So you just projecting your mind somewhere else, so you don't feel what is happening in the reality. But when you using the VR system, then it gets easier to do this kind of process, because then you got not only the imagination, but you can really live the moment. You can really bring the patient in a place where he has son, he has also a guide who is telling him what to sing, where to put his mind. And then we see many amazing results with using this technology. We're really improving the fact that you don't need to inject anything anymore in your body, just not to feel the pain. But with this technology, it really bring you somewhere else, actually.
Yeah, it's really interesting point of view. I was just also trying to figure out. Do you know if there is current study on this kind of topic, the use of virtual reality metaverse in the medical domain, guys? I'm curious.
very strong. There's Oxford Medical, which is doing some excellent stuff in the UK right now, and getting a flush of funding too. There are, interestingly, one of the main immersive technologies I've seen when it comes to medical was the Microsoft Kinect being used to create simulations, which is such a throwback, but it's still quite common, remarkably. And yeah, what I find most interesting about the sector is the amount of funding. So, as part of my role within the immersive world, I do notice a lot of press releases and news when it comes to medical companies, especially immersive technologies, getting that funding and getting more investments as well. So, it strikes me as an area of continued and persistent interest, which is happening too. One more, which I found, which is quite interesting, is I believe it was called Virtuleap, is a company. They did a study on the use of virtual reality in ADHD. Now, that's really interesting because it's the first of its kind to explore how immersive technologies will be impacting the mental health of other people, and how it can help with something like ADHD as well. And it's just one of those areas where there seems to be new things happening all the time when it comes to it, because it's based on the sound principles we've already been discussing on this call. My recommendation to the panelists and to the listeners is to keep a cautious and interested eye in the medical sector, because we're going to see it more and more. We'll see it quickly develop in the US. We're going to see it evolve more slowly in the UK, purely because of the way our health system is set up to an extent. And we're going to see some great innovations across in other countries as well.
It sounds really promising. Guys, we are close to the end of this first panel. I will give you the mic if you want to summarize your point of view, your vision, the last word.
Yes.
We want
One more point coming from Tom was about investment and the funding that each of these organizations are receiving. Now, when we talk about dollars, there is another factor as to how should we even go and invest in VR for a technology company. So here's my 2 cents on that. Is like when we invest in a virtual reality technology as a technology company, it really reduces your customer acquisition cost. Today, when we are in the physical world, we have to invest in physical interfaces. You have to have those physical capability to meet and touch people, or at least have those physical interfaces where your customers would engage with your product and services. But if you invest in virtual reality, where your customers or your prospects could basically experience your product as a whole, it really reduces the overall acquisition cost in a long run. And that's where it's going to be a massive game changer compared to the current situation. Uh, so for me, if I have to sum up, the technology of GameFi, we need to use it. Companies that are not using it should start imbibing it, but because it really helps customer adoption of your product. And with VR, it's really important that customers can do that, really try and buy. Situation becomes a bigger game changer for the companies. So that's where I kind of sum up. Thank you.
thank you, Ravi. Christian?
Oh, many thanks to invite this panel. It was a quite interesting thing. That would just would like to have is for the education and GameFi will be really combined in the next couple of years, because a lot of people will more and more GameFi education. That's my last day.
Thank you. Chloe, a last word?
Yeah, I just wanted to point that what is also most important when talking about technology and adoption, the brand to really focus about how to make the people getting to VR or getting into GameFi and the Web3 world without talking too much about like what is the technology behind, and just really focus about the customer experience and how you can bring them into this, how you can make them using innovation without even really realizing it. It's all about, we don't really care about what technology is behind. And it's, I think what brands really focus on is also how to make it really accessible and easy to use without talking about many complicated technical verbs and so on.
I do agree. I used to say that we should be focused on the simplification, big bang. Yeah. You know, we are constantly trying to deliver the best innovation. It's a crazy race, but I think we could hold on a bit, step down, and thinking about simplifying the end user experience. If we want to expect real mass adoption.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, guys, for being there one more time. Christian, Ravi, Chloe, Tom, it was really a pleasure for me. Hope to see you soon, and let's jump in the next panel discussion. Bye-bye, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.